Hello everybody and welcome back to MUFC MPB. Today is Monday the 19th of February, and as you can tell by the title, the thumbnail and the picture of the man who is on the screen right now, Manchester United have made a lot of progress in terms of the acquisition or the signing of Dan Ashworth. Well, okay. What I will start with is, I guess, the blatantly obvious, the elephant in the room, something which I guess a lot of people might have not been so confident about. You know, there was a lot of names floating around, but Dan Ashworth was the prominent one. However, Manchester United have made a formal approach to Newcastle for Dan Ashworth, their director. Newcastle obviously aren't very happy about this. Apparently some of the seniors are a bit annoyed. Obviously a lot of the Newcastle fans, you know, they want to pretend they're a big club, blah blah blah, all of that stuff. They're annoyed, and obviously they are annoyed because he's one of the best in the country. He's one of the best at his job, and in fact I will show you this right now. Dan Ashworth earns around £1.5 million a year at Newcastle, which makes him the top earning director of football in the Premier League. I didn't know this. I would assume a lot of people didn't know this. I also didn't know that was all they got, and I'm saying that's all they got like it's not an obscene amount of money anyway, but compared to, you know, normal footballers and managers and stuff like that, it's not really that much. So this is something that we definitely be able to afford. His wages I am mainly talking about, and obviously there will have to be some sort of transfer fee, if you would call it that, that we will have to pay to, you know, acquire him. There's been a lot of reports. It will be, I think I saw a few days ago, that we would have to pay. I think it was like 10 million or something, and I thought, yeah, that's cool. But then it's been made clear to me through MPB that Manchester United have made it clear they are not prepared to pay anything near 20 million. So 20 million is what Newcastle want. It's what they ideally want. However, Manchester United, as usual, are going to try and get that price reduced. I wouldn't imagine, oh yeah, we don't want to pay 20, so let's play 8 or 9 instead. I'd imagine they don't want to pay 20, so probably let's pay about 16 or 17. That's what I'd imagine, because we're not going to take the piss here. We're trying to get someone with immense pedigree. He's been at Brighton, he's been at Newcastle. Was he at Southampton? There was another club, and I can't remember what the other club was, but he has a very good track record. Now, this is something a little bit off topic, but it does remain on topic. It's a tiny bit of a segue. But if you guys do watch the overlap, Roy Keane spoke about what he thought of Dan Ashworth, and yeah, he's a very good person. He's very good at what he does. He's one of the best in class. He's going to be highly sought after, and he has been highly sought after throughout his career. But one thing which I found interesting, which Roy Keane did point out, was he doesn't seem to have much longevity. Now, whether that's because he's at one club and then a bigger club comes in, and then he's at that club and then another bigger club comes in, but Roy Keane said he hasn't stayed many places for that long. He's been at Brighton, he's been at Newcastle, there was someone else, and now he's going to be at Manchester United. And he brought up a good point. If he is the best in class, if he really is the best at what he does, what's stopping a Real Madrid? Or what's stopping a Bayern Munich or a currently more successful club than Manchester United coming in and swooping for him? I agreed. I think it's always important to look at every aspect of somebody, regardless of whether it's an under-16s player or a director of football. If you're Manchester United and you're trying to acquire different staff members in different positions, you need to have a full look at what they're good at, their pros, their cons, their personality, and their history in the sport or within their specific business. Look, I'm a Manchester United fan, and I thoroughly and I'm confidently saying that Manchester United, probably bar Real Madrid, is the biggest club in the world. So unless Real Madrid come in for him, I'm content that he would stay and that he'd be happy here. He's now definitely a part of Manchester United's rebuild under Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe, along with Jean-Pierre Blanc. I always get his name wrong, and along with the other people that have been brought in or will be brought in. I'm very excited for this. Newcastle definitely aren't, but to be honest, I don't really care. And one Newcastle voice on Manchester United negotiating for Dan Ashworth said they will need very deep pockets or a lot of patience. This is a different Newcastle they are dealing with now. And we can split this up into two different points. They will need very deep pockets or a lot of patience. It's basically referring to them wanting around £20 million for a director of football, I believe. I can't, off the top of my head, confidently say he's the most expensive, director of football, or there has been a more expensive director of football, acquisition in Premier League history. I would confidently say this is going to be the most expensive director of football acquisition in Premier League history. That's mainly because, one, I haven't heard of any others that have required this much money. This is like a signing. This is Malacia, almost 2 Malacias. This is Diogo Dalot. This is very, very important. But the second half of that sentence says, or a lot of patience. And this is because I think we might have, at one point, maybe a couple of days ago, there was rumours that Manchester United might go through this summer without Dan Ashworth and would go again from next summer when his contract is up, because I do believe his contract expires in 2025. But Manchester United, they're standing on business. They want Ashworth. They're getting Ashworth. And listen, I know £20 million is what Newcastle want for him. I know that's a lot for a director of football, and it might not have been spent on a director of football before. But think about the bigger picture here. If you're someone who thinks, oh my God, I don't want to pay 20 million, let's just wait and get him for free next summer. If we don't spend the 20 million here, that means we just have another summer of John Murtough, because is it John Murtough or Richard Arnold? Sorry, listen, I'm already forgetting about them bozos. But if we don't get Dan Ashworth, who is the man that is top of the list, we want him, he's top of the list, this summer, then it's just going to be another year of stalling, stagnating. There's just going to be a plateau. All the buzz, oh my God, we're getting all these new people in, new part owners, all of this money, all of these new ideas. However, there's no director of football, so it's kind of diluted a little bit. It's like pouring a glass of orange juice, halfway up orange juice, and then filling the rest with water. Like, it's still orange juice, but it's not as good as it could have been if you just went for the full ride and poured the full glass of orange juice. And Dan Ashworth would be the full glass of orange juice. We need him at Manchester United. However, this is a different Newcastle they are dealing with now. Obviously, Newcastle have recently been taken over by new owners. They were previously owned by Mike Ashley. If you were unaware of that, I don't know what you've been doing for the past year or two. But yeah, this is Newcastle. They're more astute in the transfer market. They have way more money, which means that there's less of a need to move players on. There's less of a need to generate that money through sales and through this and that, because they just have the money in their pockets. This is, in direct contrast to Mike Ashley, who before basically ran the club into the ground financially, and obviously that's why they got new owners in. But yeah, this is a Newcastle they are dealing with now. Just basically means it's going to be a lot more difficult to actually get hold of Dan Ashworth, I guess, this summer. They're going to make it difficult, because why wouldn't they? Dan Ashworth, I would imagine, is an integral member of their team and someone who they want there for as long as possible. So they're not going to make it easy for us to actually sign him. However, that don't matter. It doesn't matter at all, because everything is agreed between Manchester United and Dan Ashworth. The contract is ready. We just want him to cross the T's and dot the I's. I almost butchered that. United and Newcastle must agree on the compensation, and then Ashworth can begin. Look at the smile on his face. Look at the smile on his face. So, the contract is ready. We just need to figure out, are we going to pay 18, 19? We definitely probably won't pay 20. I wouldn't imagine we'd pay the full 20. That's just, we want 20. Newcastle saying we really don't want to go below that. But if you give us 18 and a half, we might be able to do something. 18 and a half plus, I don't know. But listen, it's going to get done. The contract is ready. This probably wouldn't be this advanced if there wasn't like a clear indication that it would get done. So, and it's reported by Fabrizio Romano as well. I'm actually just going to retweet that for you guys. If you guys aren't following MUFC MPB, I'm going to be very surprised, first of all. But make sure you do follow him. If you aren't already, make sure you do follow myself on X, Anil Kandola, and Aaron All of our links will be in the description down below. Also, make sure, please leave a like on the video and hit that subscribe button. And as just once again, make sure you do follow at MUFC MPB over on X or Twitter for all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and everything surrounding the club from reliable sources as and when they get reported. Make sure you do go and follow. You can keep up to date with all of the Dan Ashworth news on MPB. I'm actually just excited. As you can tell, guys, I'm in a good mood. I've had such a long day, but seeing all of this has kind of made me forget about all of the issues that I've had to overcome today. But we do have a quote, I guess a quote from Newcastle's CEO, Darren Eales. I believe that's how you pronounce his second name. We are naturally disappointed that Dan has chosen to leave. However, our exciting journey doesn't stop and the process to recruit a new sporting director will begin immediately. We thank Dan for his efforts at Newcastle United and we wish him and his family well for the future. Now, I wrote this video like a book. I started off, I'm not too sure, is it going to happen? But I already knew it was going to happen because MPB already reported on it. We're going to get Dan Ashworth. We're going to win the Champions League, not this season. Probably not next season, to be honest. But yeah, I guess that is the final nail in the coffin. If your club's CEO, look, I'm not a Newcastle fan. I don't really keep up to date with Newcastle, but Darren Eales as Newcastle CEO making a statement is something which I've never seen before. For him to come out and make a statement is basically confirming what we all want, what we thought was going to happen, and what Newcastle fans feared the most. I'm going to read it once again. We are naturally disappointed that Dan has chosen to leave. However, our exciting journey doesn't stop and the process to recruit a new sporting director will begin immediately. We thank Dan for his efforts at Newcastle United and we wish him and his family well for the future. Look, we've got what we want. We've got what we want. Newcastle United are going to have to settle for a new sporting director because Dan Ashworth was the man they want and was the man they had and was the man they no longer have. But Manchester United, is up to Manchester United now to carry on with the work. It's up to Ratcliffe now and Ineos to carry on with the good work that they're doing so far. In terms of their recruitment, in terms of even the players that we've been linked with this summer, in terms of, we're Manchester United. We want Dan Ashworth. Listen, we've gone and taken Manchester City CEO. We've gone and got Pierre. We've gone and taken Newcastle's sporting director. We've taken Arsenal's medical coach or something like that. There was someone else, cannot remember who, but we're Manchester United and I know, we had Sir Alex and we were Manchester United back then. We still had David Moyes, Giggs, Van Gaal, Mourinho, Solskjaer, Ranić as manager. Over time, over those years, it went from we're Manchester United and I'm shouting it from the rooftops to, yeah, we're Manchester United, but I'm actually just kind of typing it on my phone. I'm not even really screaming it anymore because we're not doing anything. We're not winning anything, but we're getting this. We've got this new part owner in who eventually, hopefully, will be the majority. And then eventually the full owner. He's brought in the right people. He's that what is it called? What did they do? I'm gonna say audit because I can't remember the actual word. But they've identified the issues and they've said he needs to go. He needs to be replaced by this guy. He needs to go. He needs to be replaced by this guy. This needs to get fixed. Who can come in and fix it? Dan Ashworth. We're gonna go. Where is he? Is it Newcastle? Oh, is it Newcastle? They're kind of a big. Don't matter. We're Manchester United. Let's go and get him. We've just gone, knocked on these people's front doors and said, "Oh, we'd just like to take your oven, please." We've gone into someone else's house and said, "Oh, we need your washing machine," but I'm using a washing machine. I don't care. I'm Manchester United. I'm going to take your washing machine. We've gone into someone else's house and said, "Yeah, we're going to go and take your boiler because ours isn't working very well, and we're Manchester United, so we don't really care." What, do you want a bit of money for it? Yeah, we'll take it now. Thanks. That's what we've gone and done. We've just gone and taken integral parts of these football clubs' homes, the furniture, and it's almost like career mode. It's almost like career mode at Manchester United. And I'm so excited. I could talk about this for ages, but I won't talk about it for so long. This is one of the final pieces of final updates that will be in this video, by the way, guys. Dan Ashworth delayed informing Newcastle of his desire to move to Manchester United until he received assurances that the lengthy gardening leave clause contained in his contract and high compensation demands from his current employers would not deter the United board from securing his services. Oh yeah, he wanted us. He wanted us. That washing machine wanted to wash those trousers. He wanted Manchester United. He just needed to make sure that if he says, I'm going to Manchester United, that it didn't take a sudden U-turn when we couldn't afford him, or if we couldn't do this and that, and now he's back at Newcastle like, sorry guys, I'm back. Nobody wanted that sort of situation, but of course, it's so obvious that he wanted us. Listen, we're Manchester United, B. We're Manchester United. We're unstoppable. We're inevitable. Hoyland's the best. Listen, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. If you guys, what's it called, aren't fully aware of like the magnitude of the signings we've made off the pitch this summer, just wait and see. Barada, Pierre, Ashworth, for me, the three main ones. You're looking at something's being built here, something with such a very strong foundation, something you're bringing people in with expertise, like genuine expertise in the field. This isn't mates rates. Look, I know a lot of people wanted Qatar, but Qatar, we're talking about Rio Ferdinand, Patrice Evra, CEO, director of football. I know in theory, I mean, in some fantasy land, oh yeah, listen, they're Manchester United. They were here during the glory days. We won the three-peat, we won we won everything with these guys in the team. But they are so like underqualified for this job. And I know that was part of the whole Qatar's whole, yeah, we're gonna, get on United fans' good sides, by saying Ferdinand, by saying Beckham, by saying Rooney, Gary Neville, Patrice Evra. Let's just bring in the class of 92. Why not? Because we know Manchester United fans love the class of 92. The class of 92 is Manchester United. And we were like, yeah, let's get Qatar. I was like that. I'm guilty of that. And I take it back. I hold my hands up and say, my bad. I wanted Qatar. Not because of, Ferdinand being CEO, but because of the money that they were going to spend. But what I can see now, after taking a step back, accepting that they weren't going to come in, accepting that Sir Jim Ratcliffe would come in that specific way, 25% to start off with, and eventually it will get bigger and bigger until he's a majority, and then eventually until he's the full owner. If the Qataris came in, they might have spent 200 million on Timo Werner. It might have just been, money. We want him, money. It could have just been all of that, but Ratcliffe has come in and spent his money so well. Ratcliffe, Ashworth, Barada, Pierre, we're looking at Elise, we're looking at Lenny Yoro, we're looking at Brantwaite, we're looking at Neto, we're looking at all of these young players who can come in and set like the base of the pyramid. We need a foundation, and Manchester United is a massive club. The foundation is really there. We just need to tighten some screws and put some. And I don't know. Like it's all happening. It's all happening, and it's happening in the most efficient way possible. Like Dan Ashworth 2 weeks ago, a couple of people might have said his name here and there, and now he's here. When Jean-Claude Pierre, same thing. Omar Barada came out of absolutely nowhere, but all of these guys are top of the top of the top and are going to come in and improve Manchester United. We're putting Manchester United in the hands of some of the most elite people in their position in the world of football. This is Manchester United. This is what we deserve. We don't deserve Ferdinand as CEO. We deserve Dan Ashworth. We deserve Omar Barada. We don't deserve Patrice Evra as the director of football. We deserve Dan Ashworth as the director of football, and that's what's happening. Listen, hopefully it takes a turn in this summer. Hopefully we will see what Manchester United really is about. And if this isn't just like we don't actually know what we're doing, but we're going to make it look like we do. It will be an interesting summer. Dan Ashworth is here. I hope you guys are as excited about the news as I am. And I also hope you guys did enjoy this episode. This is obviously not a live stream. This is a pre-recorded video. And you guys should be seeing it around 7 or 7:30 p.m. So hope you guys do have a good rest of the evening. Make sure you do leave a like on the video and hit that subscribe button, as well as following at MUFC MPP over on X, as well as myself, Anil and Aaron. All of our links will be in the description down below. Hope you guys have a good evening, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.